is. Richard, can you hear me now, sir?
I've got you, my man. Can you hear me?
I do, loud and clear now, so we thank you very, very much. Tell me where you are and when does the action start there?
We are inside the College Football Hall of Fame in Atlanta. I got creepers on both sides. There's Michael Borky. Hey, Dad's going to, I'm sure, peep into the camera as well. There he goes.
Yeah, there he goes. There he goes. Well, that was a weak peep.
It was a pretty weak peep, but, you got to
it
consider
was a
the
weak
audience.
Peep.
So about lunchtime today, that's when the commissioner of the SEC, Greg Sankey, will speak. And then at 1 o'clock this afternoon, the coaches get started, including Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss. Rebels are slated to go on this first day of media days. Mississippi State, Mike Leach, and 3 of their players will be here tomorrow. So here we go, off and rolling.
Who's on the guest list this afternoon? Do you have that locked down, or do you know?
We will talk to Lane Kiffin, scheduled to visit with him about 1 o'clock, and so we'll have that interview for you this afternoon. We'll talk to the 3 Ole Miss players that are here as well. And after that, we're still working on a few things, but we'll have plenty of guests coming your way. Just kind of getting settled in. Houston is working all of his magic behind the scenes right now. We've got cameras and we've got microphones and Comrexes and cords everywhere. So, nothing happens around here without Houston McDavid.
No, and it's one job that I would not want. But I always joke and said, keep your enemies close, but your engineer closer. That's my phrase in broadcast.
Absolutely. I like it. I like it.
Let me ask you this. Any surprises last night or yesterday, the MLB draft?
I don't know if there were surprises. I guess Kumar Rocker being chosen 3rd after being picked 10th last year. He was the star out of Vanderbilt a couple of years ago. He and Jack Leiter. Jack Leiter was a top 10 pick a year ago to the Rangers, and this year the Rangers go back to the Vanderbilt but a year removed. So he was drafted by the Mets 10th overall last year. There was some concerns with the medical deal. They couldn't come to an agreement on a contract, and so he was able to re-enter the draft after playing some semi-pro ball this year, I think in Tri-Lakes area or wherever that is. Yeah. And so it pays off. He comes back a year later, gets taken 3rd by the Rangers. A couple of guys that Ole Miss had committed, one out of Florida and one out of I don't remember where the other one was from. But Jackson Ferris and Roman Anthony, I think was the last name. 2 guys that were taken in the top 80 picks. I would assume out of high school, both of those guys would be going on to play professional ball. A couple of players from Mississippi State drafted off of this past year's team. Landon Sims, I think, at 34th, which is a great spot for him. And then Logan Tanner drafted as well, 55th. I mean, that's a guy that's going to be a major league catcher in the not too terribly far into the future. And then a top 15 pick that Mississippi State had coming out of high school drafted early. So we will likely not see him on campus in Starkville.
Langdon went to the Diamondbacks, and I think Logan went to the Reds. And hopefully won't be in the minor leagues that long. I do have to ask you this. When you start looking at all of the things that you've got coming up, any surprises at all? Or what do you expect? A copacetic event, or will there be some sparks and fireworks?
I don't think it's going to be crazy. I mean, the biggest sparks we got happened a month ago, right, when through the media, Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher kind of went back and forth with each other. It feels as if the commissioner, Greg Sankey, has kind of put the kibosh on that, and I don't think we're going to have coaches firing shots at each other. I will tell you, Paul, there are going to be a lot of eyes on Greg Sankey today because of all that's happening with conference realignment. You had USC and UCLA announce a couple of weeks ago that they were leaving the Pac-12. They were headed to the Big Ten. Everybody's kind of watching. And I don't think that in his State of the League address today, Greg Sankey is going to, offer any – I don't think he's going to make any announcements about future SEC teams coming in. But if you listen closely when Greg Sankey talks, sometimes if you're willing to read between the lines a little bit, you can get a little better idea of what he's thinking and maybe the direction. One of the things that Greg Sankey has done a good job of, and before him Mike Slive did an exceptional job of, was kind of looking into the future and positioning the SEC where it was a few steps ahead. I don't know if you can do that in the landscape that we're in right now, but he's a really bright guy, and there's some big picture topics that are going to be addressed, if not today and this week, in the next few weeks, if not months.
What's your feel on the narrative or the discussion of NIL? Will he be addressing that, or any changes or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to continue to have people in positions of power say that we've got to come up with a universal standard. I don't think Greg Sankey or others are ready to just stand up at a podium and say, look, we can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. I think from Greg Sankey today, you're going to hear a line, something along the lines of, it never will be what it was, but it doesn't have to be what it is. I think that's the direction they're going to go. We're never going all the way back where you can't transfer and you can't have players paid. But I do think smart people are looking at the situation that we've got with name, image, and likeness and saying that where we are right now is a little untenable.
Well, final thoughts here before we let you go. I know you guys got a lot of things going on, but final thoughts.
So you got 14 teams here over the course of the next 4 days. We'll be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It kind of shuts down around lunchtime on Thursday. There is, at the very least, one compelling storyline for every SEC team that is here. And Mississippi State and Ole Miss absolutely fall into that category. Anxious to hear what Lane Kiffin has to say. He usually gives us a quote or two and gives us some insight into what's on his mind. So it's going to be fun. And it's hard to believe that 7 weeks from this past Saturday, we got the opening full weekend of college football. It's almost here.
You can smell it in the air, by the way.
And you can feel it in the humidity, too.
You can feel it. Well, you know what? Outside right now here, the temperatures are in the, I don't know, maybe the upper 70s. It's cloudy, it's rain, and it doesn't feel like July the 18th right now, but that'll change probably an hour from now. Richard, starts at 3 o'clock. Guys, we will be watching and listening then. Take care.
Thank you.
Have a good show.
Talk to you soon.
You got it.